What's up, everybody? How we doing? How you doing? How you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, what does that mean? We still got it? Well, they still got it, the New England Patriots. Welcome into Quick Slants. When you think of the Patriots, you think in their DNA. When they are backed into a corner, they come out swinging. And I said a couple weeks ago, before they played the Green Bay Packers, that if they are the Patriots that I remember, that they will come out swinging. They will coalesce. They will gel. They will congeal and go forward as a unit and actually open a few eyeballs. And they have. And they have. Time for the game plan. It's over here. All smiles. Who's all smiles? Billy's all smiles. Next up, Maddie's Revenge. We give a tip of the cap to Matt Patricia. Adrian Phillips joins us for the most entertaining irrelevant questions in a long time. We talk about the Mariana Trench. And Harris is hobbled. Bad news on that. But before we get to all that, we have to bring in the great Kay Adams. Hey, Kay.
Hi, you look like one of those Ralph Lauren teddy bears with the American flag sweaters. What's going on here?
I just thought it was fall, and today was school picture day, so I got sent off with my little Fat Albert lunchbox and sent off. I had a Fat Albert lunchbox when I was a kid. That might not be appropriate now, but be that as it may.
I don't know, but I love seeing you. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I feel really good about this program. Might be one of the best ones we've had. You're good?
I'm great.
All right, let's get it then. It's time for Quickfire. It's presented by your local New England Honda dealers. Hit it, Kay.
I love it, Tom. I've never thought, and we like having guests. We've had the Gerard Mayos of the world and the Devin McCourtys working on the show. We've had Senator Phil Perry, Mike Giardi, but I never thought Bill Belichick could hang with us, right? I never thought he could have fun like we do until recently.
I think back on that every once in a while and just kind of, say, wow, I've been so fortunate to be able to work with so many great people, great coaches, great players, great people in the organization, personnel department, Scott, Nick, and all, I could go on here for days, but thanks for bringing it up. It's good to kind of reflect on it. And you're right. It's probably time for me to start thinking about Cleveland.
Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? This is a Monday, okay? And Bill has been upbeat. Look, when we talk about curmudgeonly Bill, I think Bill is curmudgeonly probably 14 to 18% of the time. He's status quo about 70% of the time, and the rest, he's kind of bubbly. But we've been getting bubbly Bill more often. And I think there's a variety of reasons for it. But one, and that was after the win over Detroit on Sunday, he comes and he's just reflective. And I love to see it because there is a Bill there who does enjoy sending the message that it's okay to have a good time and reflect a little. Right, Kay?
It's very true. I love to see it. It's too rare. And the only time I've really seen him like that is when he had some bubbly in him after they won the Super Bowl in Arizona that year. In the wee hours of the morning before I saw you, he was living life and living on cloud nine. And what?
Tell me more.
I think you remember that morning of that show. We don't have to go down there, but the Super Bowl's back in Arizona, so maybe we can relive it. Who knows? The Patriots are looking good, especially on G-Friends. Shout out Matt Judon. I'll be talking about him on Up and Adams tomorrow morning. But let's move on. It's nice to see our guy Bill so affable and happy despite a big injury. We've got to deal with this Damian Harris situation because he's likely to miss multiple games, according to our Tom Pelissero. He's got the hammy that he suffered in Sunday's win over those Lions. Still getting tests. The expectations is he's out for a bit. Thoughts on Harris's injury?
Yeah, well, with Harris's injury, obviously a hamstring, it can be something that lingers, but it's so fortunate that the Patriots do have Ramondre Stevenson. But if you look at the full running back room, with Ty Montgomery on IR right now, coming back, he was eligible to come back. Bill Belichick said he's not going to be inserted this week, most likely. You have Pierre Strong, Kevin Harris, two other backs, J.J. Taylor in the mix as well. But they might have to go mining for a secondary back who can carry the load on first and second down to spell Ramondre Stevenson, who has been scintillating so far, Kay.
Yeah, I saw some quotes and stat lines going around today about, it hasn't been done since Jonas Gray. What a throwback, the things that Ramondre Stevenson's out there doing. And he's on my fantasy team, so I'm excited about it. Okay, let's move on to McDaniels. Last night, AFC West battle. These coaches are going for two like they've lost their mind. What was your thoughts on that?
That was not wrong. Was that wrong? No, it was not. Listen to me. Here's the reason, Kay, and I want to give you your chance with the conch as well. But when we look at this, they're down 30-29. There's 4:27 left. Okay, what you wanted to do is go ahead. If you go ahead, you know inevitably you're going to have to deal with stopping Patrick Mahomes one way or the other, okay? That way, at least you know if you get it, they're not trying to run out the clock and bleed the game from you. They're trying to score, and they could miss a field goal as they had done earlier in the game. I had no problem at all with Josh McDaniels going for it. And your thoughts?
Well, it changed. It made all the difference in the game. So it was the wrong call because they lost the game, right? So you look at, I was talking to Coach Sean Payton this morning, somebody notoriously known for being an aggressive play caller who goes for it quite a bit. And he was really clowning on analytics. He was clowning on everything, saying, what are you looking at? It matters what it's like in the game. It matters what the conditions are. It matters what kind of defense you're playing. And I do think in general, there's some weird overreaction, overthinking, aggressiveness going on, especially when facing really elite quarterbacks a la Mahomes, a la Josh Allen, that needs to be considered a little differently. But these are the kind of things, coaches get paid to do and take care of. And when you're sitting at a red light in June and in March and in April and you're not working, this is the situation, in-game stuff that coaches should be getting wrong less.
I get
That's
you.
my thought.
And this is interesting, though. You talked about game situation and the quarterback on the other side, and we'll take it back 13 years. And the really seismic one was the 4th and 2 against the Colts. And the reason the Patriots went for it then, in their own end, was because they had no answers for Peyton Manning. It's all about who you're going against.
It's so true. It's all about the quarterback you're facing. But don't overthink it, coaches. You're driving me crazy this year. All right, let's take a look at this. Thoughts? Oh, wait, hold on. Let me get rid of this.
Oh, this
is
the throw-in.
Yeah. Mr. Schwartz. Yeah, what's the incentive, for a defender to not decimate the quarterback into the ground these days, being fined? The more I think of it, if they're going to call a penalty anyway, you might as well get your lick in and live with the flag. Not saying I condone that, but could see that outcome. Thoughts on the roughing the passer penalties around the league?
Look, on the Brady one, you're going to think I'm nuts on this too. But if I was watching that and the flag hadn't thrown, I would have said to myself, ooh, that could have been a flag because of the flinging. I'm not saying it should have been a flag. I'm just saying I could see why they did throw it. And again, there are so many tiny little details to these rules that it puts the officials in terrible spots. If they see a trace element of a violation, they're on the hook to throw the flag, because the number one thing is player safety, as it should be. But it gets so far that I understand fans and the media's response to it. And Sean Payton, again, he talked to you about it today. Says it should be reviewable, yes?
He says it should be reviewable. There should be replay on it. He was on the competition committee for many years. So, I asked him to take me behind the curtain. He said, once en masse, everyone's in outrage about it. That's when things start to change. And he also really harped on how much is on referees' plates, saying, and he actually took up for them, which I was surprised by. I think he's been away from the game too long and away from the locker room. But he was saying, listen, we're now tasking them with dealing with player safety and a concussion protocol and all of that. And it's a little bit too much, especially if they're not working year round. So maybe they should be compensated to focus more on that. All right. You look, my friend, like a Neapolitan ice cream container made by a Tommy Hilfiger. That's what you look like today. So I ask you, as the perfect fashion judge here, to tell me all of your thoughts on the throwback unis.
I like it. I really do. And there's a point at which you start to say, okay, people are just over the top because it's novel. When you see that blood red with the white, it just stands out. And you know what? The blue, even though they've had so much success in it, and the navy, I look at it, Kay, and I say to myself, it doesn't stand out the way the white and the red does. You?
I have my hot take on this, even though it's not hot at all. I've never had bad pizza. Everyone wants to argue about pizza. It's all good. Give me the gas station stuff, the microwave stuff. Great. There's no bad Patriots uniform. I love them all. They are all classic. It's the perfect color combination. And you're not going to sell me on a bad or less than great uniform. They're all great. Take your pick.
Fair. We actually put this out for a poll, and it is called from the stands. It's the portion of the program right now. This is brought to you by Shaw's, perfecting the art of fresh. Should Pat Patriot and the Red Throwbacks return full-time? Kay, it's over friggin' whelming. 66% of respondents say yes, please, no question. Nah, once in a while is 33%, and only one guy out there said, nah, hate him, overrated. Probably Big Jim Murray hates everything. Okay, we got comments.
Well, should Pat, Patriot, and the red throwback stay? We've got Mike saying 1,000,000% yes. The new homes make us look like blueberries.
Oh,
Hate them. Even would take the 96-97 Royal Blues over the new iteration. The new ones are straight trash. Homie, shout out Randy Moss. Harry says, of course they should. They never should have changed the uniforms in the first place. So, yeah, people are in.
You get them one more time. You get them against the Buffalo Bills later this year, so you get an opportunity to see them one more time in 2022. Okay, I want you to see this. It's from Pre-Game Live, our show on Sunday. It was so funny, I insisted that we bring it back. It's all about the celebration of moral victories that we had. And because I want you giggling, here it comes. Check it out.
It's a moral victory. I don't know. Yeah, you can call it a moral victory.
Absolutely. This is a moral victory.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think there are moral victories. Look, I count this as a moral victory.
I feel better about them now than I did 2 weeks ago.
Moral Victory Monday!
Woo! And for all the people who are going to push back right now, that's beneath us. This is a franchise that has been built on moral victories.
At the end of the day, this is a performance that they can build off of, and it also speaks to the leadership, the coaching staff, the adjustments that they had to make.
You had a chance to win a game that I really feel like you have no business being in. That's where I say it's like a master class.
We got bingo!
I think they're figuring out what they're good at.
We won again, baby! I kind of like where they're at right now as far as just going into the next, again, 5 games before the bye week, Tom, to play, when you got the Detroit Lions.
There's something to build on with this team.
This is unequivocally the sweetest.
Holy crap. I'm so happy we brought that back. You know, our guy Rob Snyder Bucket says, how are we going to fit that in? I said, don't worry, it has to be in. If it's funny, it's in.
Rob, that was amazing. I love everyone in New England that control room for pulling all of those clips, from Castle to Robert Kraft dancing Brewski in the background in that ridiculous leather jacket he got from the set of Seinfeld. I was obsessed. But I agree in the moral victory. You have a lot to be excited about, and the defense is crushing it. Judon has a sack, and he's a strip shot sack of Jared Goff again. So there's lots to look forward to. And like they said, like we said in the beginning, patience, people, patience.
Okay, all right. Let's stop with the victory laps. We have Ask Kay right now, Kay, and it's that time of year. You didn't love the power rankings of the teams. You do love the power rankings of the candy. Please rank your Halloween candy power rankings.
Oh, my goodness. I'll just go top 3. Oh, my goodness. At 3, I'll go Kit Kat. I like even just the 2. I'll eat those all day. At 2, I will go those caramel pops, those like sour apple pops that have a caramel on top of them that take 90 minutes and $8,000 of dental work after you eat them.
Okay.
And then number 1, classic Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, individual, nothing fancy, no white, no whatever, just the regular one.
Growth potential. Brought to you by Dr. Matthew Lepresti. Look younger, feel younger, get your damn hair back with Leonard Hair Transplant Associates. 1-800-GET-HAIR. Check it out. I put up a poll today about Matt Patricia. It said, little by little, the Patriots offense has made strides every week. Matt Patricia, who took many slings and many arrows in the offseason when Bill Belichick inserted him as the OC, has really made some strides. Your thoughts, folks, were better than Josh? Just 4%. He's been surprisingly okay, 53%. I remain unimpressed, just 37%. And he's a walking disaster, 6%. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for my slant. Watch out!
You know, I pretty much just, you know me, I try to approach every day just to, do the best I can at the job that I'm asked to do. So I don't, really pay attention to too much of the other stuff other than making sure that I'm doing everything I can to, to help those guys prepare. And certainly it's been fun, like I said, during the summer, flipping back to offense and kind of get back into the game planning mode now that we're in the season.
Nobody gets closer to the camera than Matt Patricia. God bless him. Take a bow. Since the second half of the Steelers game, the Patriots offense has been pretty okay. Not outstanding, certainly not explosive, but they have 9 touchdowns in 5 games, okay? So we're not going to do cartwheels. That's tied for 23rd in the league. And they're still not a very good red zone team. So before you start handing out a whole bunch of platitudes and accolades to Josh McDaniels, remember this. Compare it to last year at the 5-game mark. Under Josh McDaniels, they had, oh, wait a minute. They had 8 offensive touchdowns, and they also sucked in the red zone. And that team had the same starter all the way through the first 5 games, a first-round pick. And this one has had for the last 8 quarters, a guy who looks a little bit like Ollie from Hoosiers. So advantage 2022 Patriots and Matt Patricia, and it should keep trending upward because it did last year, and the Patriots are going into a softer part of the schedule. Will they average 34 points per game after their 2-3 start this year like they did last year? I don't see that happening, okay? I'll be candid. Then again, I didn't see this level of competency that we've been seeing through the first 5 games of the Patriots offense. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to skate on over to the rest of the AFC East. And Brian Costello, a buddy of ours from the New York media, said if the playoffs started today, the Jets would be the 5 seed, and they'd be facing the Ravens in round 1. Suck on that for a minute or two while we get to risers and fallers. And one of the risers is the Jets, Jets. They are 2-3, and they did knock off the Dolphins, albeit with Skylar Thompson in after Teddy Bridgewater went down. But Robert Saleh's team, they were collecting receipts, and they're starting to look at them. Still 2-3. Let's relax. Ramondre Stevenson, also a riser. He is a staple of risers and fallers week in and week out. And as we discussed, he will be even more prominent going forward with Damian Harris, 25 carries, 161 yards against the Lions. Real handful. Discuss among yourselves. Who does he remind you of? I've said Ezekiel Elliott. You? Hunter Henry. Finally, he joins our risers, comes off the fallers list. He gets 4 catches against, who they play the other day? Garcia, Lions. Whoa. Get off the salt, buddy. They played the Lions. He had 4 catches. He was featured with Jonnu Smith down. He might see some more activity. Now we scoot over to the fallers, and again, it's our guy, Nelson Aguilar, literally handing it to the Lions on a pick that kind of ruined Bailey Zappi's scot-free day mistake-wise. But Nelson is one of those guys who goes up and he goes down. You got him in a riser. You got an arrow up. Flip that arrow. Okay, next one. Matt Rule, he's a faller. He gets the down. He gets the down arrow. Matt Rule, a situation where they just couldn't look at it anymore. And while that arrow points down, his bank account points up. $40 million owed to Matt Rule. It'll be interesting to see who becomes the next man up in Carolina for 2023. And then Devontae Adams, he's a faller because there's a guy who fell over after Devontae Adams was done with him. It was a camera or an ancillary auxiliary person of the media. And Devontae Adams, after the Raiders lost last night to Kansas City, shoved him, and you see the tweet there, the apologies. You can't have it. I mean, you can't. Look, the guy might have been in an unexpected place, but sometimes you walk into a spot and there's somebody in an unexpected place, you don't shove them to the ground and then just keep walking. That's just not acceptable, and I don't care what he just spent the previous 3 hours doing or how many people were cheering for him or how much money he makes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again for Irrelevant Questions, and we have the great Adrian Phillips, who, before we get into the actual questions, is going to receive some praise. Playing out of your mind right now.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I mean, yeah, where else is he supposed to go with that? First question, you know how kids love jumping up to hit things? Mm-hmm. How old were you when you stopped jumping up to hit things?
I haven't stopped. I still do it. Like if I walk through a door, I'll still jump up to get it sometimes. So we were doing walkthroughs today, and I had a football, and I was sitting there acting like I was doing the Euro step with the layup, with the finish with the left, with the right, just seeing if I still had it, you know?
We never grow up.
Never.
Would you rather climb Everest or explore the Mariana Trench?
I think I'll go with the trench.
Dark down there.
Yeah, it is dark, but if I was able to see everything and if pressure wasn't an issue, you don't know what's down there. I feel like they say there's still species that we don't know exist down there because we either can't get down there or can't see down there.
When was the last time you were starstruck?
The last time I was starstruck was actually not too long ago. I went to see Serena Williams play her last match, well, quote unquote, yeah. Last match, and she was somebody that I've been wanting to see ever since I got in the league, really, like 9 years ago. That's kind of when I started really understanding tennis and what it was and how much of a pioneer she was for the game and how much she changed the game and evolutionized it. Like, I wasn't even side by side, but just watching her play, I was like, this is greatness. Like, this is, 20-plus years of greatness. It was great to see.
That's a fantastic story. I like that. Who would you like to take a long road trip with? SpongeBob, Patrick, Jimmy Neutron, Hey Arnold, or Dexter from Dexter's Lab?
So Jimmy Neutron was actually going to be my second. It was between Arthur and Jimmy Neutron. We didn't have cable growing up, so I had to watch Arthur first, but then when we got cable, it was Jimmy Neutron. So I'm definitely going with Jimmy Neutron because this movie, I used to watch that all the time.
You know, Dexter would be pretty noisy. I know SpongeBob would be noisy and Patrick would be annoying. So I'm with you on that. Last question. Your wife is a pediatrician.
Yes.
When you have any kind of an ailment at all, does she just go, Adrian, you're fine?
All the time. We have a son who just turned 1. His name is Dylan. He turned 1 on the 24th. And, you know, I'm kind of more of the helicopter more than she is. Like, I'm like, hey, we need to make sure he's all right doing this, this, and this. Don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. And she's just like,
See? And that's why you have to get some more Dylans. Dylan, a brother, a couple sisters. Yeah. Next thing you know, all of them will just be running around playing with glass and roller skating and everything. They're fine. Doesn't matter.
For sure, for sure.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
We had a good time with that. I had a good time with that. Adrian had a good time with that. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Little news, Lil Jordan Humphrey, speaking of Lil, has been dropped from the Patriots roster. He was released. I wouldn't be stunned if he's not back, but with the injury to Damian Harris, the Patriots might need to add some running back help. They have the Browns this weekend, and they are runnable, onable.